Here we go. All right. You know I'm L Man. You're listening to It Came From the Radio. I'm here with such a talented woman with such a beautiful voice. She's a director, she's in theater, she's in TV, she's a voiceover artist, she's an activist. She's narrating a video on deforestation. I could keep going. Sheila Omi, welcome.
Hello, Jenny. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Now, last time I asked you more psychological questions, what we will, we're going to go right into your Disney Pixar Elemental. So you're doing a major voice in the Elemental movie, which just came out today or late last night. Your character, Cinder, plays a matchmaker. So since you're a matchmaker in this film, what are in the wording of the Millionaire Matchmaker, your three non-negotiables that you need from your lover?
Oh, non-negotiables.
Hmm.
Oh, sense of humor, to not take themselves too seriously.
Okay.
And I look, my heart goes out to anyone who is dealing with addiction.
Mm.
And I think as human beings, I think we all have the tendency for addiction,
Hmm.
but addiction to certain things like drugs or alcohol.
Yeah.
Someone who's addicted but is denying. That's non-negotiable. I don't like deniers.
But
Yeah.
yes, you can. I've had many friends and two boyfriends who are addicts, and there's one who's very
Um,
proactive and volunteers at rehab centers doing well. Made $250,000 in a
mm,
month. The other one,
mm,
I don't have a problem. Gonna go
mm,
so well. Now back to your movie. We're not gonna
mm.
turn this into a full therapy session. The second question on Matchmaker, and we're gonna move on. So matchmakers sometimes give their clients critiques like you need to become a better listener if you want to find love, which a few people, you need to become better listeners if you're listening, and that's why you're not having love. So if you were your own matchmaker, and if you were currently looking for love, what advice would matchmaker Cinder in Elemental give you?
I'll tell you what, this I so believe in. When you look at nature, you look at birds, you notice how they do these dances around each other and these
Mhm.
beautiful, and it's part of nature uh, to not just be yourself. Like people are so into, no, I just want to be myself. I don't like to play games, and they're just blah. I'm so sorry to say. I'm saying yes, be yourself. God bless you. Be yourself.
We're
But
different.
there's a little more that you have to do in order to have a intimate, beautiful, loving, romantic relationship. I mean, look at
Hmm.
how birds bust their buns to uh, and both males and females to do for romance. You should do the
Hmm.
same. Don't just be
Yeah.
yourself and think, oh God, the world opened up and here you are, and good for you that you get to be yourself.
Yeah, I
Work a
totally
little.
agree with that. Yeah, you never want to stray too far from what you feel is yourself, but as an actress,
Yeah.
I mean, and director, you've directed people to become other versions of yourself.
Hmm.
On
Hmm.
set and in person, I'll ask, well, what version of myself do you want? Because there's so many versions. So we can really kind of curate how we come off in relationships and on
Absolutely. Yeah,
TV.
because we do have my husband says that I feel like I married 25 different people because I have so many different versions of myself. And yeah, absolutely. But it's also I really believe in it. I'm a matchmaker at heart, and
Mhm.
this is one of the I love that you started this with asking about matchmaking. I'm terrible at it. I don't have a single success story to give you, but I don't stop. I don't quit. And I believe that people should be together, right? We are not that species that lays 200 eggs and says, I laid these eggs somewhere safe.
Mhm.
See ya. Good luck, right? We're a species that's very big on parental investment, as are other primates.
Mhm.
And it's important for us to be together in community and Um, and it makes us better people because that's the thing is I have so many friends and God bless them. This is why I'm matchmaking all the time. They live alone. They love living alone. They've gotten so used to doing everything they want, how they want it. The thing is that I feel that being in relationship with other human beings works out a muscle that we all need to work out. That it's not all about us, right?
Hmm.
There's a tightrope that you have to walk on. You can't just do things however way you want to do it. And so being
True.
in an intimate relationship or close relationships and community, you'll see people are, or at least I get this, people are constantly uh, suggesting that you be better, so you could be a
Yes.
better version of yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes. It's such a good point. I was just saying to my dad, we were discussing a few people who have addictions who just they could be more in life. They could definitely be doing more. And I said, "Well, this is why I keep certain friends around me and I try to always be the poorest and dumbest and youngest person in the room because if I don't have these friends will call me up say, "Jen, what did you do this week?" And I'll feel like a loser if I didn't do anything. So it's important to keep friends who hold you to a standard of living, or you're never going to get there. You're never going to stay there.
And
Friends keep you
friends
in
that are
check.
better than you. All my friends are like
Yes.
so much better than me at something. So
Wow.
I'm always growing. I'm always, yeah, I have friends that I learn something from every day. So I'm always
Yeah.
growing. Yeah, it's
So speaking
important.
of friends, I kept this topical today. Sometimes I go way off topic in interviews. Disney Pixar's Elemental, featuring your voice as Cinder Lumen, showcases the residents of Element City, air, earth, water, and fire. And there's one simple rule. Elements cannot mix, but fire and water become friends. So how is this a metaphor for how humans can reconcile their differences to enjoy each other, work together? As we were just saying, it's so important to be together on some level.
Because it's in our mind that elements cannot mix. Like you've got hydrogen, you've got
Ah.
oxygen, two completely different elements. This one's got one electron, this one's got six, or with two valence or eight. I don't remember chemistry, but they come
Mhm,
together and suddenly you have water and suddenly you are able to have life on Earth. So, absolutely, not only can elements mix, but by mixing, we become better versions of ourselves. And that's
mhm.
I feel like that's a really beautiful message in this film is that,
Yeah,
the character Cinder that I play thinks elements cannot mix, but love is
right.
much stronger. And
That's true. And that's how you learn. I always say people, they would found out I used to train and they would introduce me to other trainers or nutrition people. I said, no, I want to meet lawyers or construction workers. That's how I learn. I don't want to meet people that know the same things I do that are part of my class. So sticking
right.
with this, the fiery town. Now the fiery characters seems, at least in the trailer, I didn't get to the theaters. I am interested in seeing this. They never leave their fiery town. So you've lived in California since 1979 when your family fled the Iranian Revolution. So if you never left your hometown, how would your life be different?
Can you imagine? Well, first of all, if I never left my hometown, I would be living in a very different Iran. The Iran that I grew up in, up until I was born into, when I was 10 years old when I left, was I mean, Iran is a beautiful, beautiful country. It's full of so many beautiful people and um, amazing food, incredible poetry, music. Um, Iranians have given the world so much spirituality that the world doesn't even know. World doesn't even know
Mm,
the concept of the five elements. I know we think it comes from Asia. The concept of the tarot deck, the concept of angels, the concept of God as being
mm,
benevolent.
mhm,
There's so much in Catholicism that was taken from the Persian culture and ancient Persian wisdom.
mhm.
So these are incredible. It's an incredible culture, an incredible past. Unfortunately, today people in Iran have been suffering, and I don't want to get into that too much. Just
Sure.
Google it. Thank
Yeah.
God for the incredible women of Iran that have started the Woman Life Freedom Movement. Please Google it and support them. They're trying to make Iran a better place for all people of all religions and all backgrounds.
Mm. Hmm.
And I just love people. I'm thrilled when anybody tries to make the world a better place for
Trying.
um, everyone, including animals and plants.
Well, the
But
final
yeah, if I would have
question.
stayed, oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
I
The
don't know who
final,
I'd be.
final question. I'm committed to record at least 14 hours of live stream between today and Monday. Nonstop talking gave me a sore throat, and you're doing press for 2 days at least. I mean, you're going to do a lot more. How do you preserve your voice and avoid sore throats, jollops? And that's the final question.
Thank you so much. So I think because right when I got the part of Cinder, I spent so much money on vocal classes, and so here's what I
Oh.
learned in these very expensive vocal classes that I will share with you. Really important for a day that you have to do a lot of vocal acrobatics. That the night before you sleep with a humidifier on, what
Mm.
you want to do is you want to uh, hydrate because your voice box needs to be fat and hydrated, full of water.
Mm.
The way to do that is to drink a lot of water. The day of, don't drink caffeine. This includes tea that you think, oh, but tea is good for me. Caffeinated tea is not because it leaches water out of all your cells,
Wow.
including these cells. And thanks for reminding me, I've got to drink some water. And there are these lozenges, and I'm so sorry, I forgot what they're called. Um, if I remember, I'll have Annie. It'll come to as soon as we're done. It'll come to me, and I'll have Annie text it to you. But there are these lozenges that just keep. So really, hydration is very important,
Slippery elm?
and also the day before, slippery elm. Yes, it has slippery elm in it. Very good.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
but I tell you, a mistake I made during with elemental was that there's the throat coat tea. It's great, but don't keep drinking it because the more as you're doing the voiceover, if you keep drinking, it dries out because there's a slipperiness
Oh.
that your vocal cords need to have that it dries it out. As I'm feeling
Huh.
a little dried out right now. And the
Well, these are
last thing
great
is
tips.
one last tip is that if you know you're going to have a marathon of voiceover work the next day, don't speak a couple days before. Save your voice.
Yes. Haha, great excuse to avoid dumb conversations. Well, Sheila Omi with her beautiful voice and always having interesting points make me think. I hope you enjoyed and just good luck with everything and hope to keep seeing you win at life.
Jenny, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for your
Thank
insightful,
you.
wonderful, fun questions.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Over and out.
Thanks.
Back to the studio.